Born in Germany in 1879, Albert Einstein is one of the most famous scientists of the 20th century. His ideas about relativity changed the way we understand physics, and his equation A equals mc squared, which shows a connection between energy and mass, is known all over the world. In 1921, he got the Nobel Prize in Physics for his work in theoretical physics and the development of quantum theory. Einstein is famous not only for his scientific work but also for speaking up on various global issues. He played a part in the development of nuclear physics and urged President F.D. Roosevelt to start the Manhattan Project. However, later in life, he strongly opposed the use of nuclear weapons. Einstein was born in Germany to Jewish parents. He later moved to Switzerland and then to the United States due to Hitler's rise to power. Einstein was a global figure and one of the brightest minds of the 20th century. Albert Einstein was born on the 14th of March 1879 in Ulm, a city in the German Empire. His parents were working-class folks, his father working as a salesman and an engineer. They were Jewish but not very religious. When Albert was 15, the family moved to Milan, Italy, and his father hoped he would become a mechanical engineer. However, his early school reports didn't show any signs of his future brilliance. His teachers thought he was slow to learn, and one of the reasons was that he wasn't interested in learning languages and didn't like the memorization methods used at the time. When Einstein was just 12 years old, he found a book on geometry and read it all the way through. He considered it a very special book. This sparked his fascination with math, and he taught himself, getting to know the important scientific discoveries of that time. Even though Albert was a keen learner on his own, he didn't do well in school. Eventually, the authorities asked him to leave because his lack of interest was affecting other students negatively. Albert Einstein tried to get into the Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. His first attempt didn't go well as he failed the exams in botany, zoology, and languages. But he didn't give up, and the next year, he passed the exams and, in 1900, became a citizen of Switzerland. While in college, he met another student named Mileva Marias. They became good friends and eventually got married in 1903. They had 2 sons, but sadly, their marriage ended in divorce after some years. In 1896, Einstein gave up his German citizenship to avoid joining the military. For 5 years, he didn't have any citizenship. Then, in 1901, he became a citizen of Switzerland. After finishing college in Zurich, he tried to become a teacher but couldn't find a job. Instead, he got a job at the Swiss Patent Office. While working at the patent office, Einstein didn't stop his own scientific research. He started some unique experiments to understand more about light and space. Einstein's scientific journey started in 1900 when he published his first research paper. Just 5 years later, in 1905, he completed his PhD with a thesis called A New Determination of Molecular Dimensions. But that wasn't all. He also worked on several other important papers during this time. In 1905, he published 4 groundbreaking scientific works that changed the course of modern physics. This remarkable year is often referred to as his annus mirabilis, or miraculous year. Einstein's groundbreaking work began to gain recognition. He got a job at the University of Zurich in 1909. Then, in 1911, he was offered a full professor position at the Charles Ferdinand University in Prague, which was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire back then. He became an Austrian-Hungarian citizen to take up that role. In 1914, he came back to Germany and became the director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Physics, a position he held from 1914 to 1932, establishing himself as a respected leader in the field of physics. Einstein suggested that light doesn't only act as waves but also like electric currents. This idea led to the discovery of the photoelectric effect, which made metals release tiny particles called quanta. This breakthrough paved the way for the development of quantum theory, which, in turn, inspired inventors to create things like television and movies. In recognition of his remarkable work, Einstein was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921. Einstein's theory was written in a straightforward manner, without complicated references or footnotes. The core idea of his theory of relativity is quite simple. Movement can only be detected and measured as relative movement, the change of position of one body in respect to another. So, there isn't a fixed and unchanging way to measure the movement of the Earth or other celestial objects. This was a groundbreaking idea because people used to believe that time and distance were always the same. But Einstein showed that wasn't the case. He also said that when electrons move very fast, their weight gets heavier. From all this, Einstein came up with his famous equation, A equals mc squared. In this equation, A stands for energy, m is for mass, and c represents the speed of light. It's a formula that completely changed the way we think about the universe. Starting with special relativity as his base, Einstein aimed to express all the laws of physics using mathematical equations. In the later years of his life, he focused on creating a unified field theory that could explain electromagnetism logically. However, despite his persistent efforts, he couldn't quite achieve this final breakthrough, leaving him somewhat frustrated in his quest. In 1911, Einstein made a significant prediction that the sun's gravity would bend the light from another star. He based this on his new theory of relativity. Then, on May 29, 1919, during a solar eclipse, British astronomer and physicist Sir Arthur Eddington confirmed Einstein's prediction. This news spread across the world through newspapers, and it made Einstein famous as a leading physicist internationally. It was also a symbol of cooperation between British and German scientists after World War I. In the 1920s, Einstein traveled to many countries, including the UK, US, Japan, Palestine, and others. He gave lectures to large audiences and became a well-known figure not only for his work in physics but also for his thoughts on world affairs. In the 1920s, other scientists began to explore Einstein's work and drew different conclusions about quantum physics. During 1925 and 1926, Einstein had debates with Max Born about the nature of relativity in quantum physics. While they disagreed on physics, they respected each other's ideas. Einstein, a German Jew, faced danger when the Nazi Party gained power. In 1933, the Nazis took away Einstein's belongings and even burned his books. At that time, Einstein was in England. He accepted an offer from Princeton University in the United States, finding safety there. Later, he shared that he didn't hold strong opinions about race or nationality. He considered himself a citizen of the world, valuing humanity above all. Once he arrived in the United States, Einstein dedicated himself to rigorous academic work. He didn't bother much about his appearance or clothing. He considered these things unimportant as they would take away time from his research. Einstein was well known for being forgetful. When he was young, he once left his suitcase at a friend's house. The friend's parents even said to Einstein's parents, "This young man won't achieve anything because he can't remember anything." Although Einstein was known for enjoying his own company and being a bit of a loner, he also had a great sense of humor. On January 3, 1943, he received a letter from a girl who was struggling with mathematics in her studies. In his reply, he reassured her, "Don't worry about your math difficulties. I can assure you that I have faced even greater ones." Einstein's response was not only comforting but also showed his humility, making him even more beloved. Einstein believed in a God who he thought revealed himself in the perfect order of the universe. However, he didn't follow any particular religion. He wanted to bridge the gap between science and religion. In his own words, he said, "Science without religion is incomplete, and religion without science lacks understanding." Einstein called himself a Zionist socialist. He supported Israel but grew worried about the narrow focus on nationalism in the new country. In 1952, he was asked to be the president of Israel, which was a huge honor. But he declined, saying, "I don't have the natural ability or experience to handle people. I am deeply moved by the offer from our state of Israel, but I'm also sad and sorry that I can't say yes." Einstein's decision showed his dedication to his principles. Albert Einstein played a vital role in civil rights movements, like the fight to stop lynching in America. He joined the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, and saw racism as a major problem in the country. However, he also praised the idea that America was a place where your abilities mattered most and you could freely express your thoughts. When the Second World War began in 1939, Einstein wrote a crucial letter to President Roosevelt. He warned Roosevelt about the possibility of Germany developing a devastating atomic bomb. Roosevelt took his advice and initiated the Manhattan Project to create the American atomic bomb. However, after the war ended, Einstein returned to his strong beliefs against war. He said, "If I had known that the Germans wouldn't succeed in making an atomic bomb, I wouldn't have supported it." Einstein's words, spoken after the war, reflect the difficult moral decisions people had to make during those tumultuous times. After the war, during a period when people were suspicious of communist connections, Einstein faced close scrutiny. In response, he wrote an article in 1949 titled, "Why Socialism?", where he talked about the problems with capitalism and proposed a democratic socialist alternative. Einstein also strongly criticized the race to build more and more weapons. He made a poignant remark, "I may not know how the Third World War will be fought, but I can predict what they will use in the fourth, just rocks." Einstein's unwavering beliefs during these challenging times inspired people around the world and highlighted his deep commitment to his principles. Einstein was renowned as a scientist, but he had a wide range of interests. One of his great passions was music. He once said that if he hadn't become a scientist, he would have been a musician. Einstein was a skilled violinist, and he played the violin really well. He beautifully expressed his deep connection with music. "I often think through music. My daydreams are like musical journeys. I see my life as a melody. Music brings me the most happiness in life." Einstein's ability to appreciate both science and art showed his incredible talents as a thinker and artist. Einstein passed away in 1955, and as he had requested, his brain and important organs were carefully saved for scientific research. This way, even after his death, he continued to contribute to the progress of science. Albert Einstein's life story inspires us to strive for excellence, overcome adversity, use our knowledge and talents for the betterment of society, and embrace a holistic and interconnected view of the world. His legacy continues to motivate and guide individuals in various fields, encouraging them to reach for the stars and make a positive impact on the world.